So let's talk about the possibly most often used type in Solidity. Just a regular unsigned integer number, uint. So a positive number. As you can see, you can define the size of this number. So for example, 8 bits, 16 bits, up to 256 bits. And the number means how many bits are used to store the number. So obviously the lowest value for any positive number is always just 0. But then the highest number is always 2 to the power of the bit count minus 1. So that corresponds to all 8, 16 or up to 256 bits being set to 1. And yeah, this type of min or type of max is actually something you can write in Solidity directly. So for example, type uint8.max would give us 255. One special case is for uint256, because here there's a short version available as just uint. So instead of uint256, you can always write uint. However, I personally think it's good practice to always write uint256, just to make it more clear, but that's up to you. So which uint size here should you choose? Should you always try to figure out the smallest possible type? No, not at all actually. You're probably best as a beginner to just stick to uint256, because the Ethereum virtual machine operates with 32 bytes memory slots, which is exactly 256 bits. You're just causing more work to be done by using smaller types, not less, because they are always converted into uint256 before being used when you declare a variable in memory. So why the hell are there even the smaller types? Well, they are useful when storing data in the state, but also not always. It depends on your situation. If there's a way for the compiler to tightly pack the smaller types together, for example, if you store an array of uint128, then obviously 2 uint128 could always fit nicely into one storage slot for 256 bits. We don't have time to go into the details here, but you can read about the layout of state variables in the Solidity documentation yourself, whenever you may want to optimize the storage in your smart contracts. Otherwise, when in doubt, just use uint256. And then there's of course also a signed integer available. So whenever you have to handle negative numbers as well, use this. And here we are using 1 bit to indicate if the number is positive or negative. So our max values are just half the size. And of course we now have negative values as well. All things I said about uint now apply just as well for int. So you're probably best using int256 most of the time if the number can be positive or negative, or uint256 if the number can be only positive.